What's going on YouTube? It's Arthur as you hit me. In this video I have a crazy build for you, Titan Strand build at that. This is going to be a reiteration of a build I made a long time ago. Also have that build linked down below, as it takes no artifact mods whatsoever, so you want to check out that one. This one is slightly an upgraded version of what I've done in the past, so let's hop right into it with the super being Strand Titan Blade Fury. That's like the automatic only one we can have for right now, which is perform a leaping slash towards nearby enemies, severing them on hit and dealing bonus damages to spin targets each successfully. It briefly increases your attack speed and grants energy for your heavy attack. You can unleash a heavy upward slash, creating two suspending projectiles that seek out targets. We all kind of know how this Strand super works, so there's, that's basically Blade Fury. And then for our abilities now, we have Rally Barricade as our class ability, so it's going to create a small barrier that you can peek over aiming down sights, and that increases weapon reload speed, stability, and range. When you're behind it, it's also, faster cooldown compared to Towering Barricade. Towering Barricade's cooldown being a minute 10, and Rally only being 38 seconds, so that's really nice. And then our melee being Frenzy Blade. This will also help us get Sever off as well, which will really help later on to get the Tangles for our fragments we'll be using. And then for our grenade, we're going to be using Grapple. You can use whatever grenade you want. It's not really specific on this build. I personally like Grapple because Grapple is nice. You can travel farther and all kinds of stuff like that. And then moving on to our aspects, we have first Banner of War, which is a must-have on this build. And that is defeating a target with a melee attack, finisher, or sword to raise a Banner of War that pulses with energy, periodically healing nearby allies, increasing melee and sword damage. Targets defeated by you and nearby allies charge the banner, increasing the speed of its pulses. So this is a very must-have, because this build is an up-close build. So you'll be in the enemy's faces and stuff like that, so you definitely want Banner of War. Our second aspect will be Into the Fray. Destroying a Tangled or casting your super grants Woven Mail for nearby allies. While you have Woven Mail, your melee regeneration rate is increased, which is very nice. So you have Woven Mail and Tangleds always, so infinite Tangleds, infinite Woven Mail, as said in the thumbnail. So what will make that possible is our fragments, with our first fragment being Thread of Transmutation, which is while you have Woven Mail, final blows create a Tangled, so that's one way of making it Tangled. Very, very useful to have on this build. And then we have Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. I like this one personally because, Grapple, again, you always have it. Movement speed, get you out of tight situations. So there's that. Then we have Thread of Propagation, which is powered melee final blows grant your Strand weapons unraveling rounds. With the unraveling rounds, for those that don't know, from your weapons, they also pierce barriers, champions, and stun them. Unraveled targets unwind into a Tangled, so there's that. And then when it's hit with Strand Matter, it'll also seek out nearby targets, also can create a Tangled from that as well. Then lastly, for our last fragment, is Thread of Warding, which is picking up a Orb of Power, grants Woven Mail. So this is very, very nice. It all will tie together. And yeah, so that's pretty much the subclass. Moving on to our weapons of choice. I personally like Ruthless Fury, that's crafted in the background gameplay. For anybody that doesn't know, a reconstruction on this, you can get 100, and also have backup mag too. I can get 140 rounds in the mag. So if you see that, don't freak out. I've had people in the past be like, how do you get 140 rounds of mag? That's how you get it. So yeah. Then I'm using Deaded Kindness as well for, just the damage output, and also Sun's anti-barrier champions. But with that though, I just kind of like the damage it gets out. and attrition orbs. You know, getting the orbs gives me woven mail. But the staple to this build is going to be the Lament exotic sword, with its intrinsic trait being Banshee's Wail, which is hold to rev the blade, whichever buttons or keys that would be for you, increases damage and adds a anti-barrier piercing to all attacks. Gain stacks while dealing damage with revved attacks. Additional stacks increase the damage and damage resistance of heavy attacks. So there's that. Then you add that with revved consumption, which is damaging a command that heals the wielder. So you'll be healing from dealing damage, and also with Banner of War, which is fantastic. And also Tireless Blade, fantastic. Sword ammo granted for every other powered sword kill. It's fantastic. So yeah, and then pairing that with the exotic Strongholds. This is so good on Lament. I love it. So it's Art Witches, maximizes guard stats on equipped swords. You take reduced damage while blocking with a sword, rapidly damaging targets after blocking shots with a sword. Grants restoration for a duration determined by the number of shots blocked. So that's very, very nice to have. So you definitely want to get this a nice roll. Before we get into all the armor mods and stuff like that, I do want to also recommend 100 Rezeal and Discipline on this build, as it'll, you know, resilience, you can take more damage, and Discipline to get your grenade back, whichever grenade that you choose to use on this build. Yeah, now we're going to hop into the armor mods. With on the helmet, we're going to be running double hands on, which is gain bonus super energy on melee kills. And then a harmonic siphon, which is rapid strand, weapon, final blows, great orbs of power, which is very nice to have on each of those. And for our gauntlets, we'll be running double heavy-handed, which is your powered melee final blows, great orbs of power. These are fantastic. I run double to get the orb generation to spawn, because little back they changed it. Running one, it, you know, takes forever to get an orb. And I like fastball only, you know, increases the grenade throw distance. You know, I love having my grenades to go farther. I don't know, it's just like my play style. I just cannot not have a build where I don't have fastball on. But it's not really needed. If you want to swap it out with something else, you totally can. Moving on to our chest, we're going to be running double charged up. Increases the maximum number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1. And then adding that with loosened blades too. Increases the energy recharge rate for your equipped swords. Your equipped blades gain more energy from dealing damage with their ranged attacks, but it's mainly just the first part with increases the energy recharge rate of your equipped swords. So, you know, when you're revving Lament and you do all the combos, you know, you'll definitely be able to do it much faster with it. And then moving on to our boots, we're going to be running a recuperation mod, which is replenishes health each time you pick up overpower. I love this mod. There's not a single build I don't have with this on it. This is good because you get health and woven mail at the same time. Also getting armor charges to go into your solar weapon surge, which is also on here as well. Which is, you know, your solar weapons gaining a small bonus to damage while you have an armor charge, or any armor charge at that. Your armor charge now decays over time, but that's when also stacks on stacks, which is picking up an orb of power, grants you 1 additional stack of armor. We'll only be running 1 of those and 1 solar weapon surge. So these are very nice to go together. And then lastly, on our class item, my bad, sorry. First up, we have Proximity Ward. Considering we're going to be up in their faces. Pause. Anyway, we're going to be up in the enemy's faces. You gain a powerful overshield while performing your finisher. So, like, if you're about to die, you can pop it really quick. If you have Banner of War proc, you know, in that finisher, you'll heal. We're going to add Reaper into the mix of it, which is shortly after using your class ability. Your next weapon, Final Blow, spawns an Orb of Power. This is also nice orb generation, orb of mail, increasing the chances of getting a Tangled as well. And then lastly, adding Powerful Attraction, automatically collecting nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. So that's where having that lower cooldown on your barricade is helpful. So you get the orbs, woven mail, health, all that ties together, and some ability energy too. So yeah, that is pretty much all of the armor mods and the exotics and everything like that. This is a very good Onslaught build. It's definitely got me through many waves of Onslaught. I've definitely cleared probably about 3 so far. Legend Onslaughts with this, because you just can tank damage. If you see in the background gameplay, it's just nuts. But yeah, with that being said though, as this build also, keep in mind, does not use any artifact mods. This unraveling orbs as well, you can use it, but it'll also be just fine without it next season. In the final shape, it'll be perfectly fine. This build runs on zero. I want to get that out there. This requires 0 artifact mods whatsoever. It is purely good for the next season. And yeah, if you found this video helpful, useful, and informative in some way, be sure to smash the like button down below. And if you enjoy these kinds of videos, as I try and do more build videos, but right now it's kind of, a little harder to do, as there's not much I can make around builds. But I got another one in the works, so don't worry. Be sure to smash that sub button. And with that being said, this is R3250, and I'll catch you in the next one.